Yeehaw! Welcome to PapaTucks Kitchen. Today we're going to do up some homemade butter. And after we're done doing the butter, we're going to make some homemade English muffins to put our homemade butter on. And what's really cool about this is it saves, especially in this economy, the way things are today, you make butter at home with your KitchenAid. You can't beat the KitchenAid. But you make your butter and you make the muffins. I'll get into that. But this saves some big dollars. Making your own butter, you can't beat it. And you'll need some containers to put your butter into. And of course you need your KitchenAid. I love it. And you'll need some heavy cream. And what I've got here to make the butter is I've got heavy cream. And I've got a couple of 16-ounce containers of heavy cream, and 2 of them will make 1 quart. So 1 quart, 2 quarts of butter. And you're going to put a little pinch of salt in this. Just a few grains, actually. Not a lot of salt. Very little. And that's optional. You don't have to put salt in it if you don't want to. Well, let's get this going with my new KitchenAid. I love this thing. So this is very, very easy to do. So okay. You're just going to put your KitchenAid pan on there. There you go. We're going to lock this baby in place, and we're just going to be mixing this up. This is so easy how this locks in place. Goes like that and just locks into place. Okay? Then we're going to put this down, lock the KitchenAid down so it's in the down position. And we're going to slide this little baby on here. Makes it nice so this don't spill all over the place. And this is so easy how this works. Let me lock that in. We're going to put this on mix on a medium speed, okay? And all we're doing is we're going to throw our heavy cream that I went down to the store and picked up. And all you want is heavy cream. And back in the day, it came from the farm and it wasn't pasteurized. You can't beat that. So all we're going to do is open these up. And I'm going to put all 4 of these in. And I'm going to get all these done at once. And then I'm going to fill my containers right up with homemade butter. How can you beat that? Yeah! Can't beat that. Love homemade butter. Make some homemade bread in the KitchenAid. Make the English. We're going to be doing the English muffins very shortly. I'll show you how to do that. And these English muffins are awesome. You're going to need a skillet. So let me pour these babies right in. Actually, let me show you so you can see it going in. Okay? I'm going to turn the KitchenAid down on 1. Setting 1. And we're going to start pouring the heavy cream in. Just pour the cream in. That's all there is to it. You know, you think when you go to the store, and you know, these days are gone. I mean, people don't think of this anymore. But they just so easy go to the store and buy butter. I mean, you pay a couple bucks for a thing of butter. But you know, you can make your own butter. You don't need to go to the store, especially this day and age. The economy sucks. So all we're going to do is stick this baby in there. Just like that. Okay? Slow speed. And we're going to put a couple grains of salt. And I mean a couple grains. Okay, there's PapaTucks' paw. Camera get a close up? Okay. Now, there's about a teaspoon of salt. You know what? We don't want that. We want a couple grains. That's about what we want in this. That's about it. And salt, like I said, is optional. So we're going to put that right in there. Let's just mix that up. We're going to turn this up on to number 2. And we are just going to mix. And this takes, to make this homemade butter, put the binoculars up there on Ma's hat. This takes about 10 minutes. Just keep an eye to it. Time it. Get the timer out, actually. All you new cooks out there. And put the binoculars back on my eyes so I can see. Let's time this 10 minutes. Okay? We're going to time that for 10 minutes. And we're going to have some butter. And then as soon as that's done, I'm going to start getting the dough all set up with my KitchenAid. And we're going to make some homemade English muffins. Now, don't you forget to go to my website at papabooks.net. And I will put this recipe up there for you. And while you're there, check out my cookbook. 6 generations of foods in here, and I'm working on another cookbook right now, so keep your eyes open. Don't forget to check out my book, The Outlaw Deer Hunter. Oh my God, this thing's awesome. I'm getting some beautiful reviews back on this on the website. And this one too, Pumpkin Bunch, the children's book, which is being made into a cartoon now. You gotta love it, you gotta love it. Okay, we'll let this whip up, and then we're gonna put it into our containers, and then we'll make our dough for our English muffins. Now when this gets all done getting whipped up, it's gonna be a little bit watery, you might say. You're gonna pour that out, and you wanna mash the butter down into these dishes. We'll use a spoon. I'll show you how to do that as soon as this is done, and we'll sort of pour the water out of it, the wetness out of it, and then you're gonna have butter. And this butter is gonna be pale yellow in color. All right, as soon as that's done, we'll do this. Kitchen Maid people made this awful easy for making homemade butter. I used to hear stories from my great-great-grandma Hance. And she was 101 years old, I believe, either 101 or 102, when we were talking about making butter on her farm. And she said that she used to make butter sitting on the porch in a wooden keg. They used to pour cream in it right from the cow. They used to pour it in there, and that was her job for the morning. She'd sit there and she'd be doing this stuff with this little wooden thing, making homemade butter. Now, like I say, KitchenAid made it awful easy. All you do is pour it in there and go for it on setting 1 on the stir. Okay? Grandma Hanson loved this thing. She's still around. All right, now we got this baby started. I'm going to whip this on high. About medium high, just like that, okay? We're going to whip this until we hear the sound of the motor changing. That means that our butter's starting to form. And as soon as that gets done, we'll basically have our butter. All right, we have butter. And at this point, there's juice down in the bottom, and this is turned pale yellow. Let me get all these little goodies off of here. Take this over so we can clean it. Kick this back and angle it up. Look at that. Now, camera, get a close-up. This is turned pale yellow, okay? And what I'll do now is I'll scrape this off and I'll put it into my containers over here. Okay, let's get this baby undone, and you'll see the milky substance that's in here? Can the camera get a close-up on that? See the juice? We're going to pour that out of here, okay? We're going to pour that right in the sink. Just get rid of the juice. We don't want like a watery substance in there. That's going to ruin our butter. Don't lose your butter now. You can have a little bit of that left in there. Then we're going to take our butter and we're going to fill our containers up. Okay? Look at that. That is like real butter. Oh my God. And I'll show you what to do. What we do is we fill this container right up with this real butter that you made in your kitchen. Look at that. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to squish that right down into the bowl. Just squish it. Look at this. My God, this is awesome. Now squish it down in there tight, and you're going to see the juices. See the juices coming right back up? Get them juices right out of there. In fact, what my great-grandmother used to do at this point is she would get this all mixed into her jar. Okay, just like that. And she'd take a towel back then, but we've got modern days with paper towels. And just tip that upside down like that. All your juices are going to come out, see? They're going to go right onto that towel. Anything left in there is going to come right out. All right? That's how you do it. Look at that. I basically got all the juices right out of there right now at this point. Squeeze some more of it out. Okay, I got that about out of there. Then I'm going to take a little bit more, and I'm going to put that in there. I want to fill this right up. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Now you just made homemade butter right in your kitchen.